Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on your Destiny, back with a new video. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things we believe Destiny 2 needs. Now overall I'm absolutely loving the game, I cannot stop playing it, and I'm looking forward to ranking up all of my different characters. However, there's a few things on this channel that we think could do with coming to the game, or some upgrades current features should have. If you have any opinions on any of this stuff or your own ideas for the game, be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. The first thing that we think needs some kind of a change or update are actually the lost sectors in Destiny 2. When the game was being promoted, this among Ventures, the campaign, the Crucible were one of the things that were advertised very heavily about being really cool things that you can go and explore. Now unfortunately, even though they are pretty cool in the early and mid game of Destiny 2, they don't serve a huge purpose, and then once you get anywhere near the end game, the lost sectors become pretty much completely irrelevant. Now I'd like to play these lost sectors more, and I'd like them to be more challenging as well. So what we're hoping is that at some point we're going to see prestige versions of these lost sectors, somewhere that's scary to go and you have to be prepared to go in there. I don't mind if it's on your own or if it's public or even with teammates, but maybe it should scale depending on how many people you take in. And if these are prestige versions of the boss for the later end game for people to still explore and do in order to get that precious loot, then maybe these lost sectors can actually mean some more, because they are pretty cool. It's just that for the grind, they don't really mean that much, so we'd like to see some more from them. Moving on, one more PvE element that we think could do with a bit of a change are the public events. Now these are much better for the grind for the lower and mid game of Destiny 2. You get a lot of XP when ranking up and you generally get fairly decent drops from it, and they're also really fun to do, including the heroic versions, which all require their own trigger to do, which I'm sure everybody knows by now, and these versions are more difficult, and as of this week they are even more difficult, with some bosses having either more health or a couple of different bosses coming in rather than one. However, once you get to the end game once again, these become almost pointless other than for weekly challenges, and even when you do them in the weekly challenges, they're still fairly easy. These of course do scale depending on how many people are doing them, but whether you're even with one person or a load of people, it never feels super difficult when you're towards that 300 light mark. And what we think they could do with public events again is to bring in some kind of prestige version of them. Now whether this is an arena or a Prison of Elders style thing where you go in specifically to fight the public events with random people, guided games, or with your team, and you set up and fight harder versions of the current public events, that would be amazing. Whether it's the Walker tank or the Wizards on Titan, just an extra difficulty, whether they're way higher light than you or new mechanics come in, whether you heal them if you're using the wrong element or something, some kind of crazy prestige difficulty I think would be awesome for the end game. Now, the one thing I know some of you are thinking is the game has only just come out, and while I agree, it is pretty easy to get onto that late level stuff, which brings me on to the next part, which is we need more loot in Destiny 2. I think as a community, we probably agree that most people don't want to have rolls on weapons because the RNG element goes up, and getting that best Isoluna is way more difficult than you want it to be. However, we feel that Destiny 2 has gone a little bit in the other direction, and the game has only been out a couple of weeks, and I definitely could have played it more, and I already have nearly everything in the game for my Hunter class. I would like to see some loot in the game, whether it is more random, more grindy to get, and if we don't want random rolls, then maybe there's just some loot in the game that's exceptionally rare. Maybe there's already some in Destiny 2 that we don't know about. Although we're already getting some prestige raid things coming in, which is a little bit concerning. With factions coming out, Iron Banner, among other little updates, hopefully there's going to be some rarer loot that is in the game that we don't know about yet and we don't know how to unlock. But as it is, the loot table is very limited up against Destiny 1, and that limitation comes because of the lack of rolls that you can have on each weapon or armor piece. If these were either brought back in, maybe not in their old way, way, but in some way that's more engaging and requires the grind and to do specific challenges and do things maybe that are more difficult than some parts of the raid in order to get a chance to get some great loot that we can grind for, I think would add a lot of longevity to the game. Moving away from the PvE, I want to talk a little bit about Crucible, and I think the main thing is that Crucible does need its own specific ranked mode where you can actually rank up. Trials is great as it is, but I'm thinking more of a matchmaking system like Overwatch or CSGO might have, so that in competitive you can rank up, increase your overall MMR or skill rating, and become one of the best players in the world. Also, on the flip side of this, I feel like quick play needs to be a little bit more casual. We need the option to be able to vote for the map and game mode that we want. 4v4 does not work for game modes like Supremacy or TDM, and they've never worked in any game for that. Playing quick play and being forced into these game modes is a real grind for a lot of people, and being able to just simply vote for a different game mode or have the option to search for a different game mode. I want to play Domination or Control all day, every day. That's all I personally want to play because it plays the best for 4v4 along with the Elimination and Search and Destroy game modes, and if we could just get the option to search for that in quick play, that would improve that experience much more, and likewise making the competitive experience more competitive. Finally, the next thing we need is for hunters to not suck. Now, of course, they have their own places they want to be, but really subclasses, and not just for hunters, but subclasses overall. I feel like we should not have to wait a whole year to get another subclass, since a lot of the stuff we already have was pretty much in Destiny 1 anyway. It'd be nice to see some kind of fourth subclass or extra perks or trees come in for the current subclasses with the first or second DLC, so that we can further customize our characters and what they can do. Hunters are a little bit on the underpowered side for the most part right now, but if everyone got a new skill set or a new tree or the option to move around different perks and different trees, then maybe we could balance the different characters and classes in a way that makes it more fair depending on the context. Whether it be PvE or PvP, just having a hunter be the best at one of them would be nice, in my opinion at least. But I do play all of the characters, and there are definitely some balancing and subclass issues, and I think that's the final thing they need to address. So guys, what do you think? Some of this stuff is definitely going to happen, and some of it may not. Let me know what you think should happen in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out our Twitter, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you guys get notified when our videos go live. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.